Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Navigating Your Financial Aid Online portal, what we like to call FAOnline. My name is Christina Schmidt. I'm an Assistant Director in the Financial Aid Office. You're welcome to follow along on your own Financial Aid Online accounts. You can use the link listed here. We're going to be giving some general information about the Financial Aid Online pages. So if you have specific questions about what you're seeing, you'd probably want to reach out to your individual aid counselor. So Financial Aid Online is an important tool to help you make your decision by our deposit deadline on May 1st. And even as an enrolled student, you'll need to reference it frequently to review your application status and any changes to your financial aid. There's a question and answer feature at the bottom of your screen, so you're welcome to answer questions and we'll get those answered for you. I think we have some international students joining us today, and what you guys might see is a little bit different than our domestic students, and we'll be pointing that out during the session. And the main reason for that is that the federal government requires us to provide certain information to our domestic students. So there's some additional screens that they will see. And I think we have a bunch of counselors who are going to be presenting today. So I want to just let everybody take a moment to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Renee Wan. I'm a financial aid counselor. I've been with the University of Rochester for about 4 years and working here in the financial aid office for about close to 6 months now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick Hennessy. I'm an assistant director in the financial aid office. I've been with the office for going on 6 years now, and I'm also an alum of the university. So thank you all for joining us.
Hello, my name is Dominique Williams-Hu. I am the assistant director in the financial aid office, and I've been here going on 3 years now.
Hi, my name is Kendall Knight. I'm a financial aid counselor, and I've been at Rochester for a little over a year.
Hi, my name is Allison Warner. I am a financial aid counselor here at University of Rochester, and I have been with the office for about 1.5 years. Hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hi, my name is Lucinda Snyder, and I am the International Financial Aid Counselor. So I deal specifically with the international students on campus, and I have been here for 3 years.
Okay, so let's get started with the login screen. So the login screen is where you obviously log into your FAOnline account. From here, you will be able to view any login instructions and troubleshooting tips. If you're a first-time user, you will want to click on the first-time user link. From there, you will enter your student ID. The student ID was sent to you in your financial aid letter. Once you've entered your student ID, you will be prompted to enter your name and create a PIN. Be sure to enter your name exactly as you entered it on your U of R application. So if you have a nickname or a preferred name, you want to be sure that you're using the name that you entered when you applied. In addition, when you create a PIN, it must be at least 9 characters long and use an uppercase, lowercase, number, and special character. If you're having trouble accessing, please be sure that you're using Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox web browsers. Also, 6 incorrect login attempts will result in your account locking you out. An email will generate to our office and you will receive an email from us the next business morning with a temporary PIN that you can use to access. Once you log in, you will be prompted to change your PIN. So once you do log in, you will see the main screen, which is the FAOnline Meliora page. This is the first page you will see anytime you log into FAOnline. Up in the right-hand corner, you will see a drop-down box where you will see the year. This will default to the current year, and subsequent years will appear as the financial aid application opens. So if you are a first-year student, all you will see is the 2021 year. On this page, you will see instructions for what you can do on FAOnline. So review your financial aid package, any documents needed, the history of your financial aid with the University of Rochester, that sort of thing. On the right-hand side of the screen, you will see information pertaining to the academic year you are viewing. So any pertinent information that will affect your financial aid for the current year. And that's it for that page.
All right, we'll move on to the awards menu. All right, right at the top there and underlined, it's important to note that what you're seeing is not a bill. So you can't equate this, the information on this page with a billing statement. And one of the reasons for that is if you look at the cost of attendance or the total budget for the student, it's about $78,000. The budget includes both direct fees and indirect costs. The direct fees would be the tuition, mandatory fees, room and board, and those are things that you'd actually see on a bill. But we also estimate your indirect out-of-pocket expenses, so books and supplies and travel and personal expenses. And personal might be buying shampoo or pizza or boots, snow boots if you're coming up from Florida. So the cost of attendance includes both the indirect and direct costs. And if you scroll down, there's some information before we get into the awards themselves that's important to note. Let's see here. So if you applied for need-based financial aid, the awards would be listed below. And if you were not eligible for need-based aid, you would not see those listed. If you were awarded a merit scholarship through your admissions letter, the merit award would also be listed here on this screen. If you have loans as part of your aid package and you wish to decline them, please email your counselor and they will remove those for you. If you receive any outside scholarships in the coming months, please send us a copy of your award letters. You can send those right to your aid counselor and we'll be sure to include those on your aid package as well. In red, there's some information about unsubsidized loan eligibility. And for most students, that could be anywhere from $2,000 to $5,500 usually, but you'll learn more on another menu screen. Kendall will tell you about that soon, about how to request the unsubsidized loan and review your eligibility. Let's see, we have the Rochester consumer disclosure information. If you click on that, by law, we're required to make available to you the following information that provides statistics and information about our institution. So please take some time to review this information that we've provided for you here. And now we get into the award specifics. So the total awards are listed at the top and broken down by semester. And below that, we have the summary of grants and scholarships. For the student, they're receiving the merit scholarship and the Rochester National Grant. You can see there's an important message to click on, and if we do so, we learn that the Rochester National Grant is a need-based award that is reevaluated each year with review of your FAFSA and CSS profile. And so, again, a reminder that this is not an actual bill, but we've calculated a net cost by taking the cost of attendance or the budget from above, the $78,000, and subtracting the grants and scholarships of $27,000 to give us the $50,300 here. The next section includes self-help financial aid. And this can help bring your net costs down. The direct subsidized loan is included here, and it's broken up by semester. and also by net and gross amount. So the gross loan amount is the total amount you'll borrow, and then the net is what the amount that will actually disperse into your account. There are some origination and loan fees that get taken off the top to result in that net amount. And again, scrolling all the way over is really important. If you click on the message here, you'll see the interest rate that is the origination fee and the interest rate through October 1st of this year. The feds have not yet come out with the 2021 numbers, but if your loan doesn't originate till after October 1st, there will be an updated fee and interest rate. And then if we click on the view documents, you'll hear more about this later from Patrick, but these are requirements for the loan to disperse. And when you don't have to do it now, but if you click on view all documents, it'll show you more information about how to complete those at a different page. All right. And then federal work study. So this works a little bit differently than grants, scholarships, and loans in that it is not a form of dispersible financial aid. So you won't see anything pertaining to work study on a bill, but it is the opportunity to, and you can click the message there, it's the opportunity to look for employment on campus, whether you have work study or university work, or if you don't have any work study on your award package, you still have the option to look for and apply for jobs on campus. And any earnings you do receive can be used to make tuition payments, or again, to buy pizza or shampoo, travel home. But you won't ever see any earnings go toward your bill directly. And do we have any questions at this point I can answer? I don't see anything right now, and we can come back to it, but we'll move on for now. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. And I will be talking about the college financing plan, which is on the second page. So it was developed on behalf of the U.S. Department of Education. The college financing plan was designed to simplify award information for prospective students and families, making it easier for you folks to compare award offers and help you guys make the most informed decision possible about which institution to attend. Please note that this page is not available to our international students. So we're going to go from top to bottom. So the expected family contribution, these figures are based off of what you provide on the FAFSA and the CSS profile, as well as your 2018 tax information. Rochester does have its own institutional methodology, which abides by the guidelines set forth by the College Board. All right, so as you can see here, it's two different amounts. Total cost of attendance, again, to piggyback off of what Christina said, these are comprised of direct and indirect charges that a student will have to pay over the course of the academic year. Indirect charges do not appear on a bill from the university, but we still know that you have to pay them, like books, transportation, and other educational costs and personal expenses. Direct charges do appear on the bill from the university, like tuition, mandatory fees, housing, and board. Keep in mind that they do change year to year. So again, here's the same cost of attendance as seen on the other page. So grants and scholarship options, again, they're considered gift aid, and no repayment is needed on these options. As you can see here, they separate the scholarships out by merit scholarship, scholarships from your state, other scholarships, like usually this is like external scholarships, and then employer paid tuition benefits. The student, as we saw, received an $8,000 scholarship from us, so that's where we're seeing the merit-based scholarship. On the other side, we have grants. The need-based grant is separated out by the federal Pell Grants, institutional grants, and state grants, as well as any other form of grant aid. If you remember from the other screen, the institutional grant or the Rochester National Grant funding was approximately $19,700, and that is seen right there. And as Christina said, these are the net costs. Again, it's $50,342 based on the student situation. This total is before any other aid like work study or loans are included. All right. So fine, we go down below. So you have loan and work options to pay the net costs. So the college financing plan has it broken down by federal loans, private loans, institutional loans, and other aid that could be repaid. So they also have the interest rate listed if it's available. While you do have to repay loans, repayment on these loans is not required until you fall below at least half-time enrollment in school, or for a lot of students until 6 months after you graduate. On the flip side, you have work options like work study or maybe another campus job that you might get. It's eligibility only for federal work study, and it is earned through work completed in a bi-weekly paycheck, just like any other job. It does not appear as a credit towards your charges as the money goes directly to you in a paycheck. Now, please keep in mind that we only have federal work study here available to our domestic students here at Rochester. Now, if you continue to scroll down, the remainder of the document shows general information about attending Rochester, regardless of your individual offer. These include estimated costs, projections of what they anticipate what it might cost to go to Rochester over the course of 4 years. They also include the current loan default rate, or how often our students fail to pay back on their loans, which that's the percentage right there. And we also provide the median borrowing amount for students here. And this is how much on average students borrow in order to fund their education here. And lastly, there is a glossary of commonly used federal or financial aid terms that will help you to navigate not only this document, but as well as understand the financial aid process better. And that is it for the college financing plan. Is there any questions? All right, great. Well, we will be moving on now to financial literacy.
Hi again. The university has partnered with Inceptia to offer a robust financial literacy and wellness program. So I like to think of this as a resource or a toolkit for financial and money life skills. So if you scroll down, it'll talk a little bit about the program called Financial Avenue and give you instructions on how to sign up. It's free. You can check out the video later. That's our cute little Nowl, the money owl mascot. If you scroll all the way down, let's go to the website. So the link here will take you to Join Financial Avenue. It features a bunch of courses. They take about 20 minutes or so to complete. If you want to click on that so we can see the list, great. So, Foundations of Money talks about budgeting. And so if you live off campus, maybe later down in a couple of years, budgeting is a great skill to have. As an incoming student, psychology of money or spending and borrowing is great just to help you become aware of your attitudes toward money and your spending habits, and help you bring awareness to that. Maybe it's your first time being on your own with your own money. So a bunch of options there for students. Information on repaying loans, a number of blog articles on a variety of categories listed there on the right, insurance and identity theft. A lot of great information. So students, you guys can sign up, parents too. You need an access code, and our code is Meliora which is the university's motto of ever better. So Melior to sign up, and we hope that you'll take advantage of this resource. Thank you.
Okay, so next is the applications tab. It's important to go ahead and note that this is not available to international students, just the domestic students. The applications tab is useful if you would like to utilize your unsubsidized loan allotment that we have. Most students have been packaged with subsidized, but you can submit this application and it'll go directly to your financial aid counselor, and then they can go ahead and add it to your package. For students who wish to take classes in the summer aid application will also show up on this tab closer to the summer semester. That's about it for the applications tab.
Alrighty, so let's move on to the required documents tab. So the required documents, as you can see up top here, there's a variety of different statuses that documents could be labeled as. The most common ones you're going to see are either received or approved, which essentially mean the same thing, that the university or the financial aid office has received that document. You may see some that are marked as waived, which may be a case where initially we were requiring a certain document from your family, but based on maybe some other info that you submitted, we determined we did not need that document. Another status you may see is incomplete. That would be the case where what you submitted started kind of fulfilling that responsibility, but didn't finish that. So for example, maybe you submitted a parent's W-2, but there's another W-2 that was missing in your submission. So then you would see that document marked as incomplete. The last status, and the one that you probably want to keep an eye out the most for on this menu, is not received. Anything labeled as not received is something that the financial aid office is going to need, whether it's to determine your financial aid eligibility or to finalize it and allow your funding to disperse at the beginning of the semester. But if anything is missing and labeled as not received, that's what you really want to pay attention to on the screen and make sure you get it submitted as soon as possible. So if we scroll down after the kind of list of definitions, we'll see each student has their own unique list of required documents. So as you can see, a couple of them actually are hyperlinked. That's in cases where it's either an online process that you need to complete, such as the loan requirements if you are interested in accepting the federal loans that you've been offered. Or on the other hand, it may be hyperlinked to a PDF if it is a form that's created by the university or somewhere else. So that'll link you directly to the PDF so you can print that out, fill it out, and submit it back to the financial aid office. At this point, the sibling enrollment form document does have the option to upload it directly through FAOnline. So if you receive a PDF of that document, you can see the blue upload it now button and send that directly into the financial aid office through FAOnline rather than by email or via fax. As of right now, the sibling enrollment form is the only document that has that upload function turned on. But as more opportunities come up, we may expand that and allow you to upload even more documents through your FAOnline. Right next to that button, there is also, you see a messages link there, which will just give you some important basic information that you need to know about the document that's being requested, as well as specifically why that document is being requested. So certainly if you see any documents in your list that have that message option, we encourage you to open that up and review it so you know exactly what you're looking for to submit to us before you go ahead and do that submission. And then at the bottom of the page, you'll lastly notice there are a variety of important messages. These are related both to documents that are required as well as kind of a general, the whole collection of general information about financial aid policies, even some of the stuff that the other panelists have already touched on today. So definitely some good and important information there as well. It's definitely important, anything that has been marked not received, to get that into the office as soon as possible. As we identify documents that we might need from you or your family, you'll get an email notification directly from your counselor letting you know of that. And on top of that, we also send out a bi-weekly reminder email to keep you posted if there are new documents that we might be requiring. It never hurts, maybe, once a month to hop into this required documents page and just give it a quick check over, make sure that you've, completed everything you need to, and that will ensure that your financial aid can flow through smoothly once classes start in the fall. So that covers the required documents page.
So on the standard forms page, we provide information for undergraduates, graduates, and School of Nursing students. We also provide frequently asked questions for all undergraduate and graduate, and as well as School of Nursing students as well. You will also see on this page information pertaining to the federal loan eligibility for undergraduate students, which if you click on the link, it does break down the available loan funding per grade level. Next, we do provide a glossary in terms of financial aid and conditions, so that way you can understand the lingo that we use here in the financial aid department. When and if you are ready to take the GRE exam, you would like to request a GRE waiver, the instructions are listed here as well on how to request that GRE waiver. If you are unable to complete the IRS data retrieval through the FAFSA, we do provide instructions on how to request those transcripts directly from the IRS website. You will also see a handout which compares the plus and out loan options, so that way you can make the best choice for you. And lastly, if you do have a sibling that is enrolled in school, we do request the sibling enrollment verification form. I know Patrick just touched on it, but the form is listed here, and then you can upload it directly to your account. We have a student release authorization form for which you can complete, which gives us authority to speak to whomever you designate on the form pertaining to your financial records. And then lastly, we do provide the financial aid handbook, which is a great resource you can refer to on how financial aid works here at the University of Rochester. All right, that's it.
Alrighty, hello again. I am back to tell you about the disbursements page of FAOnline. So disbursements refer to the disbursement of money to the university. So whether it's coming from the U of R, from the federal government, a state government, even a third-party scholarship agency, the disbursements page is how you monitor when those funds have actually arrived at the university. So as you can see right now, you'll see a scheduled disbursement date. So that's the date on which we're planning, if you do choose to attend the University of Rochester, to have all of your funding dispersed into your student account. By law, we're not able to start disbursements until 1 week before classes begin. So that's why you see that scheduled disbursement date around the end of August, about a week before the fall semester starts. Once the fall semester does start and that scheduled disbursement date has come around, you'll see the funding start to fill in on those other two columns to the right side there. So the net disbursement amount and the disbursement date. So that will, when that column fills in, that indicates that the university has actually received your financial aid funding and it has been applied to your billing account. Some things to keep in mind. If you see that the scheduled disbursement date has come and gone and it's been about a week and your funds still aren't dispersing, that's usually an indication that there is still something that you, the student, need to take action on. So that segues nicely with the required documents page, where if you're reviewing your disbursements and you see that for whatever reason the disbursements don't seem to be happening on schedule, it's a good idea to visit that required documents page, because there's a good chance there's something that we still need to collect from you, which is holding up the money from actually dispersing to your account. Another thing to keep in mind, and this is more for a couple years down the road, for students who choose to live off campus for their junior or senior years, on a case-by-case basis, some of those students may be eligible for a financial aid refund, where they're getting financial aid that actually goes back to them to help pay for their rent or utilities or other expenses living off campus. So for those cases, the disbursements tab is especially important to pay attention to, because for students who are expecting or relying on a refund to help with their cost of living, we are not able to provide that refund until the funds have actually dispersed. So a couple years down the line, if you do decide to move off campus and you do find yourself in a situation where some of your financial aid will actually be paid directly to you to help you with those costs, you'll have to pay attention to the net disbursement amount to make sure you know that A, your funds have gone through smoothly and hit your account, and B, so you know when to reach out to the billing office to request that they provide you with your financial aid refund. Thank you very much.
Okay, so finally we get to the loan histories tab. This doesn't require any action on your part. It's just if you borrow federal student loans, the total amount that you've borrowed will be on this tab. So if you're a first year and you have a student loan on your package, you should be able to see this here. And then in the following years, you'll see the total of all of the loans that you've borrowed. Federal loans. It's important to note that this is not available to international students, just the domestic students who are using federal student loans.
All right, so we've gone through each of the menu items on FAOnline, and looking at our questions here. Anyone have any questions? All right, someone's asking about, are there UR specific scholarships that I can apply to? Patrick, are you open to answering?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take that. So yes and no. Essentially, when you apply for admission to the University of Rochester, you are automatically being considered for U of R funded merit scholarships. So if a student is selected to receive merit scholarship funding, they're notified of that selection at the same time as they're notified that they've been admitted to the university. So it's not so much that you apply to U of R specific scholarships, is that you apply to the U of R for admission and then may be selected for a specific scholarship. So that applies to first year students. For returning students, we do have a handful of returning student scholarships where at the end of your first year, sophomore year, and junior years, you'll have the opportunity to apply for specific scholarships. There's one that's specific to students who participate in Greek life, one that's more focused around community service. So that's where you do have the opportunity to apply for specific scholarships, which can then be used towards the future year. So if you apply and are awarded that funding at the end of your first year, those dollars would be applied towards sophomore year, et cetera. If you apply at the end of sophomore year, those dollars go towards junior year. So that's kind of where the specific applications for U of R funding come into play.
All right, we've got another question that came in here. All right, it says the application section of the drop-down menu used to be available but is now gone. Does that mean I'm no longer able to apply for unsubsidized loans?
Not necessarily, but based on that being kind of a specific case, I would actually encourage you to reach out directly to your financial aid counselor. Maybe they just need to do some troubleshooting on FAOnline to make sure that opens up for you. So I can't say without knowing your specific situation what the case is, but it's definitely worth following up with your financial aid counselor, and they can let you know what the status of that unsubsidized loan application is.
All right, we've got another question here about demonstrated need. Is it recalculated from the FAFSA EFC? I'm not sure what they're asking. Maybe you can explain FAFSA EFC versus institutional?
Sure. So we do use two different EFCs when we're determining students' eligibility for financial aid. So we use the FAFSA's EFC to determine your eligibility for federal student aid. So that could be federal grant funding or subsidized need-based federal loan funding. That's where we go and use the FAFSA's EFC. However, we do collect the CSS profile for the reason that we determine our own institutional EFC using the CSS profile. The profile does take more info into account than the FAFSA and does a pretty significantly deeper dive into the family's finances. So it's not uncommon for a FAFSA EFC and an institutional CSS profile EFC to be different because the CSS does take so much more into account. So as far as meeting demonstrated need, we go off of the CSS profile or the institutional EFC that we determine using the CSS profile. So we will meet your demonstrated need as determined by the profile with a combination of merit scholarship funding, federal dollars, state dollars, as well as university need-based grant funding. But we do go off of the CSS profile's institutional figure. We do not use the FAFSA's EFC to determine how much aid you get from the University of Rochester specifically. Hope that helped clear things up.
Yeah, great, thank you. And it is reevaluated each year, so you reapply with those applications, the FAFSA and the CSS profile each year.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks, Christina.
Of course, yeah. Just looking, there's no more questions coming in. I'll linger here for another second, but we've enjoyed presenting to you today, and thanks very much for joining us. Again, if you do have any other questions, please reach out to your aid counselor on the Contact Us page on our website. You can find our email addresses or schedule an appointment via Zoom or phone through our Calendly appointment links. We want to be able to answer all your questions, and I know there's a lot of things and decisions to be made in the next couple of weeks. So best of luck to all of you. Congratulations again on your admissions to University of Rochester, and have a great afternoon.